The Tower of London, a fortress, royal palace, and infamous prison, stands as one of the most haunted locations in the United Kingdom. Constructed by William the Conqueror in 1078 as a symbol of Norman dominance, the tower has served many roles throughout its history: a royal residence, an armory, a treasury, and most notoriously, a prison and site of executions. It was here that political rivals, traitors, and even queens met their fates, cementing the tower's reputation as a place of dread and despair. Its 900-year history is steeped in treachery, bloodshed, and sorrow, creating fertile ground for ghostly legends. Tourists flock to its ancient walls not only to see the crown jewels, but also in the hopes of encountering one of the tower's many restless spirits. From tortured prisoners to doomed royals, the tower's spectral inhabitants are as much a part of its story as the ravens that guard it. Perhaps the most famous ghost of the tower is Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII. Arrested on charges of adultery, treason, and witchcraft, many of which were fabricated, Anne was executed on May 19, 1536. According to legend, her headless spirit haunts the chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula, where she is buried, and the Tower Green, where she met her untimely end. Visitors and staff have reported seeing a spectral figure dressed in a Tudor gown, carrying her severed head under her arm. One of the most chilling accounts comes from a guard who claimed to have seen Anne's ghost walking toward him, only to disappear as he challenged her. The disappearance of the princes in the tower is one of history's greatest mysteries, and one of its saddest. Edward V and his younger brother Richard were confined to the tower in 1483 by their uncle, Richard III. Shortly afterward, they vanished, their fates shrouded in secrecy and suspicion. Their spectral forms have been sighted within the bloody tower, where their last days are believed to have been spent. Witnesses describe the sound of children's laughter echoing through the halls, or the sight of two young boys dressed in 15th century clothing, holding hands and appearing forlorn. Margaret Pole, the 8th Countess of Salisbury, endured one of the most brutal executions in the tower's history. A staunch Catholic, she fell victim to King Henry VIII's paranoia and was sentenced to death in 1541. The executioner's axe, however, missed its mark, and Margaret was hacked to pieces in a horrifying scene witnessed by onlookers. Her restless spirit is said to haunt the spot where she was executed. Accounts speak of an invisible force rushing toward visitors, accompanied by the faint screams of agony. Lady Jane Grey, England's 9 days queen, was only 16 years old when she was imprisoned in the tower following her short-lived reign. Manipulated by political factions, she became a pawn in the deadly game of thrones. Jane was executed on February 12, 1554, along with her husband, Lord Guildford Dudley. Jane's ghost is said to appear on the anniversary of her death, often seen wandering the battlements with a sorrowful expression. Some visitors claim to have heard her sobs echoing through the halls, a haunting reminder of her tragic end. No haunted spot in England would be complete without a resident's white lady, and the Tower of London is no exception. This spectral figure has been frequently sighted in the White Tower, the oldest part of the fortress. Accounts describe her as a pale, elegant figure draped in a flowing white gown, often appearing near one of the tower's ancient windows. Witnesses report a distinct, otherworldly floral scent that lingers in the air just before she manifests. Her presence is enigmatic, and while some speculate she might have been a noblewoman who met her tragic end within these walls, her true identity remains shrouded in mystery, adding an aura of intrigue to her haunting. Not all the tower's ghosts are human. One of its most unusual apparitions is the ghost of a bear. The tower once housed a menagerie of exotic animals, including lions, monkeys, and bears. In the 1800s, a guard claimed to have encountered a spectral bear charging at him. Terrified, the guard tried to bayonet the creature, only for his weapon to pass through it. He reportedly collapsed from shock and later died of a heart attack. Arbella Stuart, cousin to King James I, is another tragic figure associated with the tower. Imprisoned for marrying without royal consent, Arbella's life ended in despair. She died, likely from illness or malnutrition, in 1615. Her ghost is said to wander the Queen's house, where she was held. Visitors have described a forlorn female figure dressed in early 17th century clothing, her presence accompanied by an overwhelming sense of sadness. Beyond specific apparitions, the tower is a hotbed of paranormal activity. Guards and visitors alike have reported hearing disembodied screams, footsteps, and even the rattling of chains. Some have felt sudden drops in temperature or an unseen hand brushing against them. The tower's oppressive atmosphere, a product of centuries of suffering, seems to resonate with the supernatural. But what is it that makes the Tower of London such a hotspot for ghostly activity? Many believe it's due to the sheer amount of death and despair that occurred within its walls. Executions, murders, and imprisonments have left an indelible mark, creating what some paranormal experts call residual hauntings. These are echoes of traumatic events that replay over time, like an emotional scar on the fabric of reality. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, the Tower of London remains an iconic symbol of British history. Its tales of betrayal, power, and tragedy continue to captivate visitors from around the world. For those brave enough to explore its dark past, the tower offers a unique glimpse into the spectral echoes of centuries gone by. And who knows, perhaps one day you'll come face to face with one of its many ghosts.